All right, so I'm in structural engineering. So what that means is that I help build structures like buildings or high rises and things like that. And I help calculate the loads. So that means that any weight coming down on that building needs to be calculated and brought to like the outside. So if you look to the outside of the wall, all the exterior of this wall is carrying all the weight of all the snow, all the wind that hits it and things like that. So we have to calculate that stuff to make sure that the roof isn't going to cave in on anybody or that the building can stand up in a storm and things like that. So with me is Alicia. She's a licensed architect.
Hi guys. Hi.
Our two practices do kind of go hand in hand. I make sure that the building has enough reinforcement in it and that the foundation and all the walls carry enough energy or carry enough weight and are built strong enough to carry all that weight. And then
Sure. I didn't know that was part of today. That works. I've been doing it all week. So, yeah, as Kate said, our jobs are commingled. As an architect, I work with the clients to kind of envision the space, what their needs are, to design what it looks like. You know, laying out all the spaces, kind of picking everything. So if you looked at this room, I would help select where the windows go, what kind of windows those would be. I would look at the doors, you know, the placement of everything. I would work with the other engineers to pick all of the lights and maybe assist in all the mechanical systems to help keep the building warm. Like K2, I also make sure that it's safe. If there was a fire in here, where are the exits? How quickly could you all get out so that you would be safe? How sound would the building be? How long would it stand up before we all have to get out? So we have to think about things like that. But we also get to pick things like the flooring and the paint and what it looks like and all the pretty finishes. So it's a fun mix. So, yeah.
So one of the things that we work with daily is torque. So we have to worry about different weights coming down at different pivot points and things like that. So everybody that's got a pumpkin, if you kind of just space out a little bit, take the pumpkin with you. So I'm going to give you guys a real life example of torque, and it's really easy to figure it out. So torque around the point is weight multiplied by distance. It's very simple. So the easiest way to explain that is hold your pumpkin really close to you, right to your chest. Now you guys could probably do that all day, not a problem. Now extend your arms all the way out. And we'll see who can hold it the longest. So we change the torque point from your elbows that are very close to you all the way to your shoulders. So now that distance is elongated, so it's a larger number times the same amount of weight, which calculates out to be a larger weight.
You guys getting tired?
So if we all have a 2-pound pumpkin, and let's say we have 3-foot arms. Now some of you guys have smaller and some of you guys have bigger. So 2 times 3 is
6.
Exactly. So now the measurement that calculates that out is foot-pounds, because we have 3 feet per 2 pounds. So things like the eaves on the end of the building, or when wind hits the building and pushes it down and tries to lift it up in a tornado or in a hurricane and things like that. We all have to...
If I did this, does it make it even harder? Yeah, like the wind, the snow loads, right? There's the snow. Making it harder?
And so we have to calculate that kind of stuff to make sure that the building's going to be safe for you guys to be inside during a storm or during high winds or anything like that. All right, so who still has it out?
Quite a few of them. Look at this.
There you go.
Yeah.
So is that a lot harder though?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys can stop now. So yeah, that's a version of torque. Now, there are different mechanisms that we use to attach a point in that wall to be lower in the ground so that the walls don't collapse on themselves. Does anybody have any questions? Yeah.
Are we going back outside?
Yes.
You might want to put some warm clothes on.
It'll just be real quick.
Are these inflated costumes?
Are we in or out?
Girl.
We're outside for the
Well,
launching of
so we
the.
don't have any launchers.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is,
Chuckin.
we're gonna chuck them. See who can go the furthest.
Oh, I know who my target is.
So out there are milk jugs, and they are 10 feet. So they're separated out in 10-foot increments. And we'll see who can throw the longest. We have a line kind of drawn in the snow that we'll use for our starting point.
You have a tiny pumpkin.
And then after that, we'll kind of come in and we can talk about some, what's called acceleration, and what that kind of has to do with gravity and things like that. It'll just be a quick overview, and I won't make you guys do a whole lot of math. Sound good? All right. So let's start a line.
Sunny.
You were really close. Still our champ.
Can I keep our pumpkins?
Great, are they allowed to keep them? Yeah, we'll find out. We're not sure. All right, ready?
Hey, where's my snap?
I think it
It came off.
Ready? Nice. Nice.
I think that's longer. It is. Yeah.
It's like underhanded volleyball. Underhand
It looks under to me.
easier, but doesn't do as much. Overhand is
This one still
harder,
looks
but
a little a hair farther. Equal. All right, we'll leave it for right now. We'll leave it. Yeah. There can be more than can there be more than one winner? Ready? Chuck it.
oh,
Oh, that one's farther. That one's farther. Let's collect the other two.
I'm gonna go after the other person.
She's getting hers.
Oh, there's no stem on it.
Yeah, I think they're breaking off when you throw them. All right, so leave that other one out there. Yep.
I can't even.
All right, you ready?
Okay, now we got a new one. Oh, Maya.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, that's a good way to gauge. Oh.
Oh.
There's a three-way tie. He's got a thick one though. So.
I got a really thick one.
They're still farther. I'll grab it for you so I'm out here.
Matt, if I had
You got
yours,
some
I
good throws, guys. You had a good one.
Man, it's just that count as part of the program.
We'll leave it. They're in a cluster there. We'll call it at the end.
That was bad.
That's all right. You want to go grab it?
Sure.
You did good, Aurora.
No, I didn't.
Like your Top Gun.
Cold.
And not petito bag.
I like potato bags.
Oh!
Whoa! All right.
So just let me know when
Keep
somebody
going.
beats
We
that.
might have a second and third.
Oh.
I'm not sure. Okay. We have a place here for second, third. Give us a try.
No, let's do this out.
Oh.
He did!
He actually hit it. It's really, really small, but it's actually.
Watch out. There's water. There's probably water in it. Just swim down.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah, we'll go out in a second and grab all of them.
Oh!
There, you get another throw. I know. The stem popped off.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go away from my friend.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
That.
Oh, you had a big one. All right, is that everybody? Everyone chucked their pumpkin? Yeah. You're the winner. Nice job.
So we're gonna do just a little bit more science and physics with this. But like I said, it won't be math or anything like that. So who can think of some of the forces that acted on those pumpkins? Wind resistance, and gravity. Yep. What else?
And I already broke my brother's sight, and this is my brother's katana.
So as far as gravity, we can express that in what's called acceleration. So every object in the universe has gravity to it, just because it has mass. So that's why the planets rotate around the sun, you have moons around the planet, things like that, is because other things are drawing it towards it because of its weight. So heavier things make it hard to pick up. You know, you can't pick up a car the same way that you can pick up a 2-pound pumpkin. For that same reason, because they have different mass and different gravity to them. And they're all pulling towards the earth at different rates. In engineering and stuff, we call that gravitational force. It can be calculated as 9.8 meters per second. So when I drop something, that's how fast it's going to travel. And we take the weight times that force, and then we figure out how much force and how much acceleration it's going to have. Different forces that were acting on that were wind. So wind can be categorized as a constant unless we are dealing with huge winds. So if you go outside during a windy day and you hold that pumpkin out there, that pumpkin's going to start to move side to side, and it's going to be really hard to hold it up even more so, because now we have different forces beyond just standing in a room and holding it. Now, if we have snow that's on top of it, that's another force. That's what we call dead load or snow load around this area. But ultimately, the biggest force that moved those pumpkins were you guys. So how fast you pushed on it, and you can calculate that out and figure out your weight and your distance and how much you pushed on it and how far that it went off of all those calculations. And that's all stuff that you can do repeatedly. If we had catapults, we could tune them in to hit the exact same spot every single time that we threw it through math, and it's very easy to do it, and you guys will probably learn about that in high school and college, and it's repeatable because it's one of those known forces.
Any questions? Isn't that cool?
Woo!
Well, thanks for sitting through our spiel,
Yeah.
and good job throwing pumpkins, and I'm glad none of them cracked.
Yeah, me too. Those are What are you guys gonna do with them when you get home? Who's gonna carve them? Who's gonna paint them?
Who's gonna eat them?
Yeah, who's gonna turn them into bread or cupcakes or pies?
Or roast the seeds with salt and
Yeah,
pepper.
my brother
My grandmother's extra with
Well, you know, lastly, does anybody have any questions for us about like years or anything like that? Yeah, go ahead.
Have you actually worked on any high rises?
Not technically high rises, but 3 stories and 4-story buildings I have. Yeah. So we cover a couple different cities. So we are the city engineers here for town. We're also the city engineers in, well, a lot of different places. Roseau, Warrose, nope, not Fargo. But we also do Rochester, Alexandria, Crookston, so a bunch of different places, and we have about 10 different offices and 250 employees. So,
You know, one reason why there are not many high rises here is actually because of our soil. So I'm sure you guys know that our soil is amazing for growing crops, right? You get feet upon feet of beautiful topsoil. It's really good for growing vegetables. But it's not the best for holding up buildings. It's very, very soft. And so when we talked about, remember you mentioned that, you know, to make something more stable, you might put it deep into the ground. It's like if you were to plant a tree, you want to put it deep into the ground. Our soil isn't as stable. So for us to build something very tall and for it to not tip over, it gets really tricky with our soil. So that's one of the reasons why we don't have lots and lots of tall buildings. It's because it's very expensive and difficult to stabilize it in the ground. Where New York City has granite. You guys ever seen granite, like your granite countertops, right? It's super hard. They have granite underneath their ground. So they drill into the granite, and that building's not gonna go anywhere. So geographically, there's reasons why some places have lots and lots of tall buildings, and other places don't. So, does that make sense? So, you know, we're cool because we can grow really amazing crops here. But it's a little harder, sugar beets, corn, soybeans, all sorts of great stuff. But a little trickier to put in a 20-story building.
But that was a good question. Any other
It was.
questions?
It was a very good question.
Still connected.